Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. I am here with a mystery quilt block. I'm in the mood to just sit down, chill, relax a little bit, and do some sewing. So this series is great for that. I pulled out a few pieces. I tried to find some bigger pieces because of course I have enough fabric here that I can use some big pieces, but I like to use what's out of the boxes that I have. I'm working out of two boxes that look like this. It's my hamburger patty boxes, and quite full. I have two, and I need to sort those and put some of the smaller stuff in with the crumbs now. But I found some things that are on the biggish side. Do love this. This was the sashing between rows for my strip quilt. I'll link to that in the description. Oh yeah, we pieced the strips. Remember? Each strip was different pieces, and then we sashed those rows with this stuff, and it was awesome because it had different things that we could cut, but it all went together. So like one strip for the sashing might have been this, and it might have been this wide, and then we could have had something narrow like this. Do go see that series and at least look at the quilt. I think it's the best thing I've ever done. And then I like some modeled pieces. I like pieces here and there that read as almost solid. I got this little guy. This is all, the way it came out of the boxes. I didn't do any trimming or anything yet. And then I have this big long piece with pink and white polka dots, and I have this tie-dye looking shit. Kitty cat. I've used this in several blocks. And then this, which was part of a panel. And I'm going to do something with these, and I thought, well, maybe I should cut them down. I can have some big pieces. I really can, because it doesn't matter what size block we end up with. We did a fairly big one for block 16. I believe this is block, let me look. No, we did block 17, so this will be block 18. And I think it was like a 12-inch square, something like that. I can't remember. Go watch the series. And so it's okay if we make another big block. The playlist for this series is in the description of this video. We're just making mystery blocks. I do not know how they're going to turn out until we're done. I give you the measurements of the pieces that I'm putting together. You can do what you want. Do not worry if it's bigger than mine or smaller than mine, the completed block. Because when we put those blocks together that are all various sizes, I show you how we make it work. I joined after 10 blocks, I joined some, and then after 15, I joined a few more. And when we get to 20, we'll join some more. And I don't think it'll be too much longer that we'll have enough for like a quilt top. I don't know. I'm going to put some of these things together, and I'll be right back. Let's start with this, and I'm going to put pink next to black. This piece is 5 by 7.5. This is 2-inch wide. Let me back it up like that. This strip is 2 inches wide, and you just need it to be 7.5 or longer. So I'm just leaving it this size. I'm going like this, and I'm just going to sew right there. And I don't sew on camera for this series. If you like sewing on camera, you need to watch my crumb chats. Let's stick this on here. Let me trim it, measure it. You need this to be at least 6.5 this way. This measures 6.5, so try 7 by 1.5. I'm just going to sew that right there. And I can choose, do I want it this way with more red or this way with yellow? I'm going to put it this way. But I'm still going to make it stick out a little bit so I can trim that and have a nice even edge. If I start right there, I might sew crooked. This might not be quite the, the length I need in that direction. So always make bigger and then trim after. Let's make a half square triangle. We're going to end up with 2 half square triangles, and we can put some in the box, in the scrap boxes, for another time. 3.5-inch squares, 2. I have this nice yellow and I have that mottled blue. And you're just going to put them right sides together. We know the drill. We're going to draw a line on the diagonal. Pen, pencil. I'm going to do pencil. Do I have a pencil? Going to do pen. Doesn't matter because we're cutting on that line. Now we're going to sew about 1/4 of an inch on each side of that line. And then we cut on the line. I'm going to put one of these in the scrap box. And this one, I'm going to open it up and press it, and we will put it in this block somehow. Now, don't ask me, how did you know what size? I didn't. I'm just making a half square triangle, and we will make it work however we have to make it fit into that block. Let's bring our block back. I don't even know if I showed you after I put this on. I don't remember, and I haven't done any editing yet. So let's say we want this here. Well, we have to add a piece here, or we could add a little piece here, which I think I might do, and then add another piece. We'll just build it on this side somehow, somewhere, some way. I'm just looking to see what I might like. I don't know, for some reason I kind of like the blue against the black with the yellow there. Doesn't really matter. Maybe I like that. But I'm going to find something here, and I think I'm thinking of this. That's sweet. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what size this came out to, but I'll just tell you, it is like 3 1/4. No, let's just say 3 square. About 3 square. Remember, we just started with 2 3.5 inch squares, and whatever you get, you get. So now I need, this is, I'm not even going to trim this. Let's do this way first. We need at least 3.5 or more. It's 3 inches, about 3 1/4, around there. Do at least 3.5 this way, or whatever it takes. You don't have to measure it. You're just going to lay it down, and about 1.5 inches tall. Just going to lay that there and sew. Did I say that's where I wanted it now? I think I want the yellow touching. All right, so it's going to go there and sew. Look, this piece that I had is going to be perfect for this. I can do it that way, or I can do it this way. Oh, I think I'll do it this way. There's more going on. We got that line, all that stuff. So we want it to be at least 3.5 this way. Mine is almost 4. And then you need it to be at least, I'm going to be generous because we want to fill this whole space. So I'm pulling this down a little bit. And then I'm going to measure, like pretending that I'm losing a seam allowance there. And so I'm going to say we need a piece, I'm going to say at least 6 inches. You can't just go like this and make it even and go like that. That's not going to work, because when you sew these two together, it's going to shrink and it won't be long enough. So you want a good overlap. So let me see. If I do a good overlap, I would say 6 inches this way would be enough. But if you have a longer piece, just leave it as is. And I'm going to just sew that here. And I'm just going to, my bottom is crooked, and that's okay. I'm just going to make it kind of straight on here, and I'm just going to sew right there. Pull it down a little bit. Like that, right there. Now I trimmed, I should say I evened up this edge. Why can I not get you to see? There. And now I'm going to be putting this here. And I'm going to try to match up there, but I still can, you know what I can do to make it even? Instead of making this go lower than this and then trimming that, I'm going to make it a little bit higher, just a little bit up. So then when I open this up, we can trim here, and that's going to give us a nice straight edge on the bottom. I'll show you. I really like this so far. So I'm just going to put this here. And I'm pulling it up maybe 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to sew there. Just so you can see. See the little step right here? I wouldn't have had to do that. I would have been okay with, you know, trimming it and even taking off some of the height, the half square triangle. But just to let you know, see, you can always extend and then trim. And it doesn't matter what this comes out to, like what size. So that's the joy of all this scrap quilting. So I'm going to trim here, and then I will trim this part like this. Trim that off right there. And we have that. I can trim there too. I forgot this edge. Hang on. I trimmed it all. I don't know. Maybe we could be done. I think it's pretty cool as is. Maybe we'll stop here. I like it very much. I'm actually going to leave it like this. I'll take some pictures. So let me measure it now. This one is about 8.5 inches wide by 8 inches tall. And, you know, when it's mixed in with everything else, oh, I just can't wait to see the whole quilt top done. I will not be making an entire quilt, but I will be making a quilt top, and I'm assuming that will go on eBay because I will have no use for it. And my bidding always starts at 1 penny, free shipping for USA. Outside USA pays shipping. And go check out my auctions. I'll have a link in the description. I've got something cute with some strips. At the time I'm uploading this, and that'll be done in a few days, so if you're watching in the future, that's gone. But always check my auctions to see what I have. It's just fun little things, and you can win silly things, cute silly things, for like a couple of bucks sometimes. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll do some close-ups of this right now, and I'll be back with more soon. Bye!